An American drone small enough to fit in a backpack now strikes targets with precision from over 10 kilometers away, evading radar and armored defenses in seconds. The AI-powered Switchblade loiters above the battlefield, scanning for movements along roads, trench lines, and vehicle columns. Its 2.5-kilogram airframe launches from a simple tube requiring no runway and can be deployed by a single operator hiding in cover. Once airborne, its onboard camera and GPS feed real-time targeting data back to the operator, who can redirect or abort the strike until the final moments. The Switchblade 300, which is the most widely used variant, carries a warhead effective against personnel and light vehicles, while the heavier 600 model can destroy main battle tanks at standoff ranges of up to 40 kilometers. But why does this matter on a modern battlefield crowded with electronic warfare and layered in air defenses? Because traditional artillery and missile systems rely on fixed positions, heavy logistics, and predictable trajectories. The Switchblade bypasses these constraints, flying low and silent beneath radar coverage, then diving onto targets with minimal warning. In Ukraine, reports confirm Switchblade strikes disabling Russian command vehicles and supply trucks, disrupting logistics nodes far beyond the front line. And the crazy part is that each drone costs a fraction of a guided missile, under $6,000 per unit for the 300 model, enabling mass deployment without bankrupting the operator. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the logistical footprint is very minimal, because operators can carry multiple drones at a time in a single vehicle, launching from concealed positions and reposition rapidly. This extreme flexibility denies adversaries like Russia and China the ability to target launch sites with counter-battery fire or airstrikes. Russian forces accustomed to tracking artillery by sound and trajectory now face a threat that appears without warning and vanishes before a response is possible. So by any measure, this shifts the cost-benefit equation of battlefield attrition. So how does this change the calculus for both Russia and China? Both militaries rely on armored columns, massed artillery, and fixed command posts, targets that Switchblade drones are optimized to destroy. The Chinese doctrine emphasizes rapid mechanized advances across open terrain, but a swarm of loitering munitions can halt a column at choke points, bridges, or river crossings. Russian air defenses, which we've seen in the past 2 years, are designed for fast jets and large drones, and now are struggling to detect and intercept a 2.5-kilogram munition flying at treetop levels. Even advanced electronic warfare units have limited success jamming the encrypted frequency hopping control links used by the recent Switchblade models. So with that being said, the threat is not just tactical but strategic at the same time, because the US can supply allies with hundreds of Switchblades at short notice, as seen in Ukraine, where over 700 units were delivered within months of the conflict's escalation. This rapid proliferation means that any adversary facing US-backed forces must now account for persistent, unpredictable strikes deep in their rear areas. The psychological effect is very significant because Russian and Chinese units must now disperse and dig in and constantly scan the sky, slowing advances and increasing operational friction. And again, this is not a moral judgment, it's an analysis of incentives and logistics. The Switchblade's low cost, ease of use, and rapid deployment favors militaries with robust supply chains and advanced sensor networks. The US, with global logistics hubs and satellite reconnaissance, can integrate loitering munitions into joint operations at scale. But now, China and Russia, by contrast, must invest heavily in countermeasures, dispersals, and electronic warfare, which raises their own costs and complicating offensive planning. So now, if we zoom out, the Switchblade's impact is not just limited to a single theater. Its success in Ukraine has spurred interest from Taiwan, Poland, and other US partners facing armored threats. And today, the US defense industry is scaling production with new variants in development boasting longer loiter times and improved anti-armor warheads. So this clearly changes the calculus in the area, because any future conflict involving US forces or allies will feature a persistent, mobile, and hard-to-counter threat to high-value targets across the battle space. So put differently, the Switchblade compresses the kill chain from hours to minutes, eroding the traditional advantages of mass and armor. For China and Russia, this means every advance risks sudden, precise attrition from unseen angles. For the US and its partners, it's a force multiplier, one that shifts the balance in contested zones and complicates enemy planning at every level. So if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, like and subscribe for more, and also leave your comments in the comment section below.